Your purpose in life is to find your purpose and give your whole heart and soul to it. What's going on, everybody? It's your boy, Sean C. Welcome to the Sensational Gent. I am the Sensational Gent, Sean C., and I am glad to have you here for live stream number 24. I always say this at the beginning of the show that I can't believe I've done 24 of these things. Couple was mistakes, so technically like 23. But I've been coming here weekly, other than like a couple weeks ago, to bring you guys the best information I can bring you for us to have discussions on things that affect us here at the Sensational Gent. The thing that we're about right now is about us trying to be the best versions of ourselves, find our purpose, and to live our best life. And I hope that I'm able to bring that. We're going to talk about some of that here, stuff that we are going to do on this channel in the future. Additionally, again, today we're going to do a year in review of 2021. And listen, there's a lot of things that have happened. And as I started looking at this year and the things that have happened, like I forgot about some of the stuff that took place this year. I think that you all may or may not agree. It wasn't quite 2020 when the shock of the pandemic like just hit us, right? Life was quote unquote normal, and then the pandemic just came out of nowhere. And I think it changed so much stuff. I think it was a lot to deal with. And I want to talk about some of that today too. So I want to tackle the question of, so what now? And I hope by the end of it that I can tell you guys what I think or what's going to happen as far as me, as far as this channel, the expectations and stuff like that. And then I also want to hear from you. So that's why today I have a colorful background, not, I don't have a green screen background today of nice places and stuff like that. I have a regular background because today I want to actually hear from you. I always want to hear from you guys. And so if you're new to the channel and this is your first time here, again, we talk about some deep topics that I also like to get the perspective of others so that we can grow together, learn, and get past it. So do me a favor, hit that subscribe button and the like button so you don't miss any future videos here on TSG. Okay? And so so that's the other thing. We're going to talk about the year. We're going to talk about some things that happened. We're going to talk about some stuff that went viral in both regular life and pop culture, because pop culture is not regular life. But I like to take those comparisons here on the channel and relate them to what's going on in my life and your life. And then, so let's get to the comment section, see what's going on. So we have Eleanor here. Eleanor says, hey, what's going on, Eleanor? Thank you. I was talking to you before the chat. Before we started the show. Thank you for being here, Eleanor. And then Eleanor says, yes, this year was definitely different. I was happy to see more in-person interactions. Absolutely, right? Because 2020 was a year where, and the pandemic kind of started at the beginning of the year. So we went a good little period of time where it felt like a good period of time when we weren't interacting. And slowly we would get out. I saw people walking around. I used to go to the park all the time to walk and just get out in the air, right? Knowing that, you kind of got some space between people. And it was good to see people feeding ducks and going out and doing things. But this year with the vaccines and stuff, you definitely saw people interacting more, people a little bit more cautious. But at the same time, they weren't, especially like I live in Vegas. So here, the interactions kind of were happening where, happening in like people were interacting a lot more than I'm sure a lot of other places. Bigger cities were, having those type of interactions. And then I have my boy Neil. I have a story to tell in the house. Thank you, Neil, for being here. This is a good friend of mine and doing some real good stuff. I look forward to when his channel plays around and gets the formatting right for his live streams. Matter of fact, the bigger shout out I want to give to Neil right now, and for you all to understand, go check his channel out, go check out Eleanor's channel. But the thing about Neil that I want to make sure that I get out to you guys is he started doing his live streams a while back. And it took me a while to get out there and actually start doing live streams. Okay. And it was, you know, his channel that actually inspired me to go ahead and start doing them. And then, so thank you, Neil. I appreciate that, man. It's because of you, man. I actually got out there and actually started doing this live stream. So here we are at live stream number 24. And, you know, I'm glad to have this going on. All right. So make sure you go check out their channel and stuff like that. Wow. So listen, I'm going to go through some of the stuff that happened in 2021, and I'm going to talk about some of the things individually. I'm going to talk about, kind of breeze through some of them, but I want to bring these things up because I think it's important to look at the year. And I don't just look at the year and say, I'm glad it's gone. I try to look back at the year just like I do everything in my life, where I try to look at it in terms of what's the positives can I gain from it, or what's the lessons learned, even through the pain and the trauma of some of the things that did occur. And you're going to find that some of these things were very, very problematic, but we need to talk about them. And that's what we're here to do on this channel. Okay. So, So 2021 in review. So 2021 started out as we had the election. And honestly, I had to think to myself, I totally forgot that in the beginning of this year that we had an election. Totally forgot about it. And I guess that just goes to the calmness of, I can say calmness. That's the wrong word. I'm just going to say that, like, I feel in the environment that we're in, I'm less worried about that kind of stuff. I'm more kind of in thought and in tune with trying to get things together in my own life and also in the lives of others. And so, you know, we had a lot of anxiety in the past with different things. And I feel like there's less anxiety now, even though things aren't necessarily quote unquote better. And I couldn't imagine that anybody coming into office, regardless what you believe politically, this is a tough thing to deal with, right? There hasn't been a pandemic of this nature since, you know, the early, like 100 years ago, right? Early 1900s was when we had the last one. So none of us have dealt with anything of the magnitude of what we've seen this year. So I'm going to actually share my screen with you today, and I'm just going to use some of these pictures to kind of illustrate the points that I'm trying to make. So I hope you guys will bear with me as I, you know, figure this stuff out. So I'm going to go ahead and share. In January of 2021, after the elections, the previous president, I won't be saying any names, but the previous president felt that he was robbed of the election, of his election. And, you know, I can understand people being up in arms, no pun intended, feeling like that their voice was not heard. However, if that was the case, if I felt that it was the case that our voices weren't being heard because of some type of systematic stealing of our votes, then I'd be probably the first one, or one of the first ones on the front line. If you're new to the channel, you don't notice about me, I completed 20 years in the military. So day and night, while you enjoyed your life, sometimes I was gone and didn't see my family and daylight and all these things for a very long time. And so I went out to bat to do those things. For whatever reason, I did it for a very long time. And I do believe in your freedoms. I do believe in my freedoms. And if I felt that way. However, there there was a lot of stuff that was done in this Capitol riots, if you will, that was not done orderly, was not done. Nobody's done this. This was unprecedented. This was something that had been unseen by us, just as unseen as the pandemic itself. We've never experienced such things like this, right? And with that being said, this was crazy. I mean, there were people that were scared and under siege because of this. So the only thing that I want to make sure that I reiterate to you guys is that you do have to fight for your freedoms and you do have to protect your rights. But at the same time, there's a way and there's a process to do it. And that was not the way. So that's the way January started. In February of 2021, there was the big ice storm that had happened, the big snowstorm that happened in Texas. And a lot of people went without, water and power and everything like that for a while. Now, the reason why I'm bringing this up specifically, because I didn't get everything that happened in 2021. I'm just bringing this up to say that this is another example of bureaucrats looking out for their own interests and not your interests. And the one example that I'm going to use and I'm going to say in this is that in Texas, they took shortcuts to covering the pipes and the different things that was going to help those systems continue to run. They took shortcuts because they said, hey, we never get snow like this here. But with everyone denying the weather, right, the weather isn't doing what it used to do. Or I used to predict the weather on a moment, and now I cannot. And I don't know about you guys, but you start seeing the patterns, man. Things ain't right. All right. And so with that being said, people were without power, without water, all because people didn't take the opportunity to fortify the infrastructure. So what am I trying to get across with the lesson learned? This lesson learned is that you guys got to make sure that you understand who's fighting for you and who isn't. And that goes for in your government, and that goes for in your personal life. Who's there for you? Who's been there for you? Right? You might have ups and downs. You got people you fight with, but who's going to be there for you at the end of the day? And I hope that you rock with those people and they continue to rock with you. And that's why I appreciate everybody that's here right now. So thank you all for being here. All right. In April, something interesting happened. You had the conviction of this gentleman right here. Excuse me, real quick. You had the conviction of this dude, Derek Chauvin, Frenchy or something. I don't know, but he was found guilty. Okay, he was found guilty for the pretty much execution of George Floyd. And I will tell you guys, and I'm gonna share this with you all with right now. But when this happened in 2020, that was the beginning of a very rough period for me. So I grew up in New Orleans, and I got my license, my driver's license, on my 16th birthday. That's all I asked for. So I've been practicing for a whole year. So I've been driving since I was 15, and I pretty much got my license at 16. In between 16 and 18 years of age, I've never gotten a ticket. However, in that same 2-year period, I had been stopped 17 times. And in one of those times, I had been stopped at gunpoint by the cops. Had I moved the wrong way, we may not be having this conversation right now. That is a true story. I was 17 years old, and that day I was probably dressed as bummy as I could be, right? And the cops totally was violating me, and I'm talking about to the point where like they were groping on me, and the other cop was like, "Hey, are you grabbing his junk?" And he was like, "Yeah, that's what I do. I grab junk." Like, this is how unprofessional it was. Okay. So this is not uncommon. You can hear stories like this right now. I think they're going through something in Louisiana right now with the cops being crooked, some of them, and not all. Again, I support the law enforcement, the boys, the men and women in blue, the people that go out and do the ambulances, your first responders, the fire department, and stuff like that. I support all of them because I understand being a part of an organization. However, if that organization has rot, it's incumbent upon us either to get out of it or to be the change that we want to see. And from there, because of this gentleman right here, I'm going to bring it back to this screen. Excuse me real quick, because I'm trying to, right? But in April of 2021, this guy was found guilty on all charges, okay, for taking the life of George Floyd. And that's monumental because that didn't always used to happen in the past. And this dude, most cops kind of get away with this kind of stuff, the bad ones at least, right? And I had to go to therapy for that because it just triggered all the times I had been stopped wrongfully with no cause, and I had to go talk to somebody. I got out of the country that year, right? 2020. But to see this, I don't rejoice or not rejoice on this. It just is what it is. Because if I sit and dwell on the past, then I can't move forward to the future. If you sit and dwell on the past, you're not going to be able to move forward. The best thing you can do, I'm not saying forget the past. I'm saying you use the past to make yourself better. How do I improve? How do I get past this? And what can I do to improve myself and my situation? And that's what we need to do in this situation and others like it. The other thing that happened is I made a birthday. Thank goodness I'm here. I've lost a lot of people in this last year, or a number of people in this year. And there was also in April, something else happened. There's a young man named Dante Wright who was his life was taken by a female officer who mistook her gun or mistook her gun for a taser. And so this young man's life isn't here. And I want to bring that up in conjunction with what I just said, because again, this young man went out normal day driving his car to go through this where he doesn't have his life. I'm letting you know I was only 3 years younger than him when I had guns drawn on me. Maybe I wouldn't be here either. I think about that all the time, and it motivates me to do what I'm doing and what I'm gonna do. All right. So you guys are quiet in the chat tonight. What's going on there? Go ahead and drop something in there. Let me know what y'all think on these subjects, okay? The other thing that happened in 2021, if you start going toward May, let me get it here. And oh, that's not what I wanted. There we go. There we go. We had SpaceX, right? So you had Elon Musk go ahead and decide, well, I'm rich and I want to go to space with my money. But I don't want to actually down this man for his beliefs in getting people into space. If you really think about it, he actually, if you listen to what he says, right, if you ever listen to any of his interviews, but he looks at the necessity of being able to go to space to colonize other places, just in case, because we have no other place to go but the planet Earth. We have no other place to be but where we're at. And because of that, we have to take care of the planet we have. Unfortunately, because of our greed and our need to continue to do what we do without consequences, hey, I'm not going to be here, so what is it going to matter? That's the kind of attitude I feel some of these older people have, that about not taking care of the planet we have. I equate it to, it's like we're in this big, let's say a big factory or something, and the bosses that are there are about to retire, and they're doing a crappy job at managing the factory because they figure it's not going to be my problem later. And I would tell you, in the military, we had the mindset of, you don't leave a problem. You're not the youngest person, or sorry, don't be the most junior person with a problem, and you don't live with problems. You make sure you document them. You make sure that you put yourself in a position such that those problems get taken care of. And y'all might hear a dog in the background. Of course, the neighbors let the dog out right at this point. They let the dogs out. Who let the dog? I don't want to get copyrighted on that. Okay. So Elon Musk went to space. You had like a space race between billionaires. Now, I'm going to make a joke about this, but obviously, when you have nothing else to do with your money, I guess space is the next place to go. I don't know. call me silly, I guess. You know what I mean? Like, I could think of a whole bunch of other things to do with money other than be worrying about space. However, if the goal is to be able to get us to be able to have other planets and places to be, then I think there's actually an interesting development that we may or may not see in our lifetime. Okay, so then we go from May and then we go to June. The next thing that happened, let me bring this up. Why is everything out of order? I'm sorry, you guys. All my pictures are out of order. Oh, there we go. Wow. Okay. I don't know how that got out of order like that. All right. The next thing that happened in June of 2021 that you guys may or may not remember, in Florida, in Surfside, Florida, 98 people perished due to the fact that this building, this old building that probably was out of code, collapsed. And it took them a long time to find all the people. That is absolutely terrible. Absolutely terrible. Right? Neil, I see you, brother. I know you drive. I know you're doing your thing. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you. And so what I want you guys to get from this scenario is this, that imagine your home, you're in your apartment, and the whole building collapses. Maybe you survive, maybe you don't. But that is an example of how short life is, that things happen. And so I talked about this in the most recent video. If you go look at my last video about, like, what did I talk about? Like, the time is now, right? What are you going to do now? And I said that because life is short. Life is so short, and we don't take advantage of it fully. We're sitting here fumbling around thinking we got more time, but we don't. And I got folk that ain't here right now because they thought they had more time. They thought they was going to have more time than they did, but they don't. So I submit to you, as I did and pleaded in that video, what are you going to do right now? What are you going to do with the time that you have today? Make sure you reach out to the people you love and care about and tell them and let them know, because you're not promised tomorrow. This could be it right now, right? So I talked about in the last live stream about living your life today. I talked about how you almost have to live each day as a separate lifetime just because you're not promised the next day. You're not promised even the next moment. We just don't know. And I think that when you start living your life that way, maybe you start making some changes. Maybe you start doing a few things that's a little bit different just because you appreciate your life so much that you realize how precious your time actually is. And on this channel, we talk about it all the time. Two most precious things that you have on this planet is time and health. If you don't have those two things, you have nothing else. Okay? Then the next thing is we had in July we had the Olympics. Everything is out of order in here. I don't even understand how this is even a thing. And I can't even see this far. I'm sorry, you guys. Let's do this. Why is everything out of order? I had this all set up for you guys. I had all this ready. Okay, this shouldn't even be an issue. Let's go to our next screen. So we had the Olympics. If you guys remember, there was Simone Biles who pulled out of the Olympics, and that also led to what's her name, Osaki, Naomi Osaki or whatever, her withdrawing. Both of these ladies did something very courageous, and they withdrew from the Olympics and also from Wimbledon, respectively, right? Due to the fact that they just couldn't, they were going through it. They just were dealing with that pressure. And I think it's courageous because everybody wants to sit up there and tell you, shut up and dribble, shut up and hit that racket, go ahead and flip on those beams to keep me entertained, but not thinking that these are real people. So the reason why I brought this specifically up is because I think I brought it up in a previous live stream too. But I brought this up specifically because if you are going through it mentally, you're going through things emotionally, then make sure you take time to take care of those things. Make sure you take time to heal you. And don't just say, I'm just going to take time and heal. If you don't take any action toward healing yourself, if you don't try to actually be active in your healing and active in changing your mindset, then you're going to continue to be stuck in the past. And that's the truth. And then in August of this year, I'm going to try to see if I can find the picture, but right now I'm failing. Yep, this is not working. It was all in order. It was all in order. I had it in order. Wow, that did not work out well. I'm sorry, you guys. Please bear with me. What happened in August? So we had the withdrawal of our troops from Afghanistan after over 2 decades of war. Okay. And that's pretty huge. I've talked about that on the channel. It's funny because, again, when I do these live streams, I tend to talk about these issues because these are things that we do need to talk about. And obviously, you guys know I have a soft spot for the troops and everything that they go through. You know, I have a soft spot for people that are homeless and people that are, you know, check to check and all these things because I grew up poor, right? I grew up poor. I'm still poor. No, that's not true. I'm broke. I ain't poor. Poor is a mentality. But I was broke. I grew up broke. And so here it is, 2 decades. So this war started and like it ended, and my kids are grown. It started when they were babies and now they're grown. That's how long this war has been going on. That's a long time. A very long time. Let me get to the chat. I'm sorry, you guys. I'm talking so much and I want to get to hear what you guys. Neil says, sorry, I'm driving. Let me switch this camera view to this camera. There we go. Sorry, I'm driving. We have L Design Company is a great friend of mine, giving a shout out. If you have any type of designs or anything that you need done, printed pamphlets, all kind of stuff, right? Check out her business. She can help you with your business needs, and I do highly recommend her. She's been doing this for a while, so she's good at what she does. She's even helped me. If you guys know, just for you, if you're new out here, we have a second channel. This channel is called Sensational Fitness and Wellness. And the logo design from Sensational Fitness and Wellness was designed by this beautiful woman right here who will take care of your needs. So she says, great highlights from 2021. I love to hear your personal experiences and insights too. Cheers to 2022. Absolutely. Same to you. And obviously I hope that that we get to see each other sometime next year. Okay. And then everybody's saying hi to each other. So that's good. Okay. So back to the subject. Listen, I talked about this in the last live stream that the people that are coming home after 2 decades of being in there, especially the people that joined a long time ago and still in and have done multiple deployments, you can't do that much time in the military. You can't be in the military for any length of time and it not affect you or not change who you are somewhat. I'm not saying it changes you completely, but you will be changed by it because the whole goal is to get you integrated into that type of mindset. So what I'm trying to tell you is there are going to be a lot of people coming home. It's going to be a lot of people trying to deal with this on their own, in their own way. How to let go of doing something for so long. I don't care what you do, but if you do something for a very long enough time, you're going to have a hard time adjusting into letting go. It's just the way it is and just the way we're built. I can tell you when I left the military, one of the hardest things to do was to figure out who I was. And it took every bit of this almost 4 years I've been out for me to discover who Sean is right now. And thankfully, I'm here talking to you guys right now and able to do it as Sean. And I'm not the same Sean I was before I went in. And I'm also not the same Sean I was while I was there. Obviously, there's parts of me that are the same. But at the same time, There's just a lot of things that I do differently. There's a lot of ways that I operate differently than I have in the past. And it took me, again, almost all this 4 years. So make sure you support the troops. If you know anybody that's been out, been deployed, and going through this, and they're coming home, make sure you take the time to check up on them. They're going to probably need it a little bit more than most people, but also take time to check on the people that you know that struggle. Okay. So, and then we had in September, and this one, let's see if I can bring this up. Oh my God, they're all out of order now. This is terrible. This is not the way I had this set up. I am so sorry, you guys. Thank you all for being here and understanding. The next thing we're going to talk about is the trial of one Robert Kelly. Now, I meant to put this in the pop culture section, but I'm going to talk about it right now. I think it's really important to talk about this because I think it's important to talk about R. Kelly. And it's sad what happened to him, but at the same time, I think when you get so high up, like R. Kelly, putting out generational music, putting out music that people dance to, grind to. Some of you guys might have been, some people out there, if you're young enough, you've been born to. And, some of you guys got your first dance at school because of R. Kelly and stuff like that. It's tough to see your heroes fall. Now, I'm not going to say he was my hero. I like some songs of his, but I never looked at him that way. My favorite singer is Brian Mcknight. Okay. My dude ain't had no troubles. But the reason why I'm bringing up Robert Kelly is because R. Kelly was doing and operating in such a way for a while because he thought he was untouchable. So the lesson that I want for us to learn is that, especially you guys out there that are content creators, that have businesses and stuff like that, do not let the money make you. You go and make the money and use it as a tool, but don't let it define you. And I think that's it. Obviously, something in him is pretty sick because he continued, even as an older dude, to continue to prey on younger women. And I'm not even talking about legal women. That's his prerogative, right? Just throughout history, older men have been with younger women. But I mean, this dude was out there still patrolling for high school girls that weren't even alive when Bump and Grind came out. I mean, that don't even make no sense. How you gonna go ahead like Robert Kelly and you don't know nothing about no Bump and Grind? You weren't even born when Bump and Grind came out, okay? So it sure blows my mind, okay? So so just don't let those things change you and change who you are. All right. And now this next one I want to talk about is very inspirational. And I hope you guys see it the way I do too. If I can find the damn photo. Oh, I guess I can't. I had all this in order, you guys. This actually kind of hurts my heart a little bit because I had this thing organized. Okay, we're gonna bring this up right now on the screen. Okay, for you all that are here. So Captain Kirk from the Starship Enterprise, William Shatner went to space. I thought this was very inspirational. This happened in October. Captain Kirk went to space. Now, this dude has influenced a generation as the captain of the Starship Enterprise and all of its voyages. All right. This dude here made people believe in outer space and the potential of doing something beyond yourself. Because the whole thing about Starfleet, you ain't got to be a Trekkie nerd, but you got to know that Earth came together and created this federation, such that now, as a unit, we're going out to explore and to help other galaxies and all these different things. And this man, William Shatner, who was 90 years old, went out into space. I just thought that was very inspirational. I thought that was just crazy. And then we go to November. November gets a little murky, y'all. Okay. I can't. This is gonna be crazy. This next one. Yep. Here we go. So November, you had, I'm just going to show you the picture and you'll know. So you had this young man, Ethan Crumbly, who brought a weapon to school, and then basically people lost lives. People got injured. And here's the thing, his parents pretty much egged this young man on. This young man had issues, too excited about guns. And the news that's coming out is that they had a meeting at school the day it happened. They didn't take him home. The mom encouraged it. So what am I saying to you guys? I'm not gonna get too deep in this, but you gotta teach your kids. You gotta see the warning signs, right? And everybody's like, well, you seem like a normal kid. Well, listen, everybody seems normal until they're not. But there was telltale signs. And I think that's gonna come out when this trial actually comes to pass. And in this case, they bought this weapon for this young man who was having troubles, who actually drew something in school that made them say, hey, come to school. Have we not learned this lesson? I'm going to tell y'all something about this situation and about these type of situations that really gets me angry because I'm tired of hope and prayers. I'm tired of hope and prayers. I'm tired of hearing it because we say it and then everybody moves on. That's a goddamn shame. Also, you had a gentleman who decides to run his SUV through a parade and injures people. I mean, people are going through it mentally right now. That's why I said you need to check up on your people and check up on the situations because you just don't know. And the last thing that happened in November is, or the other thing that happened in November is Ahmaud Arbery, he got justice. So this was a gentleman who was running through a neighborhood and he was stopped by some guys that thought that he shouldn't be running through the neighborhood. He stops in a house just to see it was a construction house. The only difference is, had he been white, he may not have lost his life. But these dudes decided to take vigilante justice out on this man who had done nothing wrong. So people need to mind their own goddamn business. People need to value life. And the problem is, I feel like there's a lack of that. There's a lack of empathy going on. I think that people need to start valuing people that don't look like them, people that don't live like them. We don't have to agree, but I support your pursuit of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And you should want the same thing for me. You should want the same thing for your fellow man. And that's what November showed us, that there was a lack of that. There was a lot of hurt and pain throughout this year. How is it that we no longer have empathy towards each other for that? And then this last thing that I'm going to show you guys, if I can find it. I apologize about this, everybody. All right, here I got it. And then the last thing is right here. The last thing we have right here is there were some deadly tornadoes that ripped through the Midwest. Now, this is Kentucky, I believe. This town no longer exists pretty much. It no longer exists. Let me get back to the chat real quick. I'm sorry, you guys. I didn't have a chat for a second, so what is going on? Oh, there we go. Okay. So let me get to the chat real quick. Oh my God, what's going on? Can't stop long, but stop by to show some love. Man, thank you very much. I appreciate it. I appreciate you very much for being here. Thank you, brother, for being here. Say yes, exactly. Agree 100%. Look like my screen froze up a little bit. But yeah, absolutely, man. I mean, I'm just trying to put out what happened. This is 2021 in review. if you're just getting here or you're just starting to watch from this point, we just talk about some of the things that happen. So in this Midwest town, these tornadoes came out of nowhere, and it came at the worst time at night. And let's see, I don't even know the lives lost on that one. Okay, but that one should tell you how short life is. That's what I want you to get from that scenario. I want you to understand that life is short. What are you doing with yourself and your time? What are you doing with yourself that is going to further you ahead, living like there's no tomorrow while planning for the future and using the past as prologue to set your path right, to know where you want to go? What are you doing right now with that? That's what the last live stream was about. Make sure y'all check that out. Also have a smaller video that I made, or last video I made for this channel, where it is Mike Tyson on the cover talking about discipline is the key. Those same points that I'm talking about right now were made in that video and also the live stream before that one. And the last thing I'm gonna leave you guys with 2021 in review, because we still have some more things to talk about before I close off this live stream. But we also are over 800,000 COVID deaths. The thing that hurts my heart about the 800,000 COVID deaths is I know people that are part of that number that died from COVID complications. My boss, one of my old bosses, he thought it was a hoax. Oh, the government's just doing this, that, and the third. That dude ended up in the hospital for a lot of months. He don't talk that no more. He don't talk about it being a hoax. Now, is there things that we can do? Yes. We take better care of ourselves and our health. It does improve our chances of overcoming it. But if you have pre-existing conditions or you're dealing with other things, then you could be subject to losing your life if you're not careful. So it's something just to keep in mind going forward into 2022. And that is your 2021 in review in terms of the news. We also had some pop culture stuff. I'm gonna keep this real light real quick. So I found a couple pictures that I think that I hope brings a chuckle to you guys, or just some warm, fond memories of 2021. Okay, so one of the things that happened in pop culture, tell me if y'all remember this. This is when Bernie broke the internet. Okay, he had the mittens on at the inauguration, and I'm not going to even lie to you guys. I had this in one of my thumbnails with Bernie in there sitting between me and Mr. Johnson. Okay, so so I remember that happened. Bernie sitting there chilling with his mitts on. We talked about R. Kelly, right? So I'm not gonna bring that one back up. This was a sad one. This was sad. Let me go to the chat. The mittens. Yeah, man. Wasn't that everywhere? Man, Bernie, they just sat that Bernie with the mittens and everything. There was one where he was sitting next to Forrest Gump on the bench. Man, there was just so many great memes just to show you that the internet is undefeated. Okay? We all know that the internet is undefeated. Okay? We also lost our boy DMX. Oh, hey, what a dog gonna do? What a dog gonna do? Hey. So we lost that dude. Okay. But man, if you didn't have some bangers come out of this dude, and I had never been to a concert, but I heard, man, when he was on concert, he had that thing on point. Everybody was just going, man. And so here's the thing. We always talk about living your best life here on the Sensational Gent. We'll continue to talk about that. We'll continue to bring those type of things up. That's what the channel's about at the end of the day. But what I will say is DMX had some demons from his past. So he was dealing with things with drug use and overcoming those type of obstacles and stuff like that. So what I'm saying to you is Like I told y'all earlier, if you're dealing with some type of demons, you're dealing with barriers to the things that are holding you back from your past, you have got to get over them. Because if not, those things tend to come back. They come back to get you. They come back to haunt you. So make sure that you take care of your demons in this. Do you understand what I'm saying, people? Okay? Do you understand what I'm saying? Okay? Make sure you take care of yourself and others. All right? Um, this next person should be no stranger to you guys. If I can find a photo. Obviously, I cannot because I'm failing. I failed you guys. I failed myself. What the hell is this picture? What the hell? How did it get there? Okay. Let's see what Eleanor says. Eleanor says, yeah, that's why I'm focused on mental health more this year. That's right. Go into 2022, Ellen, and you got to be active in your own and battling and finding your mental health. You can't just think that it's not enough just to go talk to somebody. You have to go and practice the exercises. You have to think on the things that are ailing you. But you also, I always talk about having a purpose on this channel because even when you have messed up passes, I have a messed up past. I think a lot of us have a lot of things in our past that are messed up. But what drives me right now? What drives me is my purpose. And we'll talk about that here at the end of the broadcast. But when the chips are down, if you're looking forward and actively working forward in your plan, that's why I always tell you, Eleanor, what you're doing is more important than even your YouTube channel at this point. Because right now you're in college and you're trying to better yourself. You're trying to get through it. I know it's tough and I know it's hard sometimes, but you don't give up. You keep going. You keep pushing. Do you understand what I'm saying? All right. So this next guy needs no introduction. David Chappelle. Okay. So Dave pretty much drew the ire of the LGBTQ plus community for some comments that he has made. Now, wow, I just did that, didn't I? Yes, I got two cameras going. Okay, we all fancy over here. Okay, we all fancy and stuff. Okay, it's not that fancy. I just wanted to make sure I had two color gradients to keep your guys' eyes locked on to the colors. Okay, the colors. I even wore yellow. I wore a primary color to make sure I bounced off the blue just the right way so y'all can hear the message that I'm saying. That is crazy, ain't it? But anyway, we're not gonna go there. Oh, hey, Wanda. What's going on? Hey, Wanda, thank you for being here. Happy holidays. Happy holidays to all of you guys. Hope you guys had a Merry Christmas and stuff like that. I don't even think I said that at the beginning, but there was nobody here in the chat in the beginning anyway. So happy, Merry New Christmas year to each and every one of you guys. Okay. Merry Christmas. Okay. Merry Christmas. And Wanda, Merry Christmas to you and your family. I hope you guys had a great Christmas. Make sure you check out Wanda's channel. You get to see how her daily push, right? How she goes as to live her life is something that you can definitely relate to. It's very relatable stuff. That's why I know and I see her success, and I'm proud to call her a friend. Thank you for being here. All right. So, where was I at? So, Dave Chappelle. Here's the thing that I want you guys to get from the Dave Chappelle thing. I don't really want to hash out the arguments and stuff like that. That's not the point. But Dave almost got canceled. And I am now, I think I always was a proponent of free speech. I think I was always a proponent of being able to speak your mind. I think that given the way I grew up and given the things that I've been through, I think it's very important to be able to have that avenue. However, we can't just cancel all our problems away. We can, however, turn off the TV. We can, however, not engage in these conversations that don't lead to change. How do we get better from it? If Dave is missing the mark where he is saying something that maybe is angering or hurting somebody, how do we have the conversation such that we aren't trying to hurt somebody? We're trying to understand their point. Because I can equally say that people have misunderstood his point. even though that, you know, some of the things he says may be hurtful, there was a deeper message behind it. One that I will tell you guys that I relate to. I relate to it a lot. And the reason why I relate to it is because the deeper stuff is what I told you earlier about me being a kid getting stopped 17 times in 2 years at traffic stops without no tickets because I didn't do anything. And that's the deeper message behind what Dave was saying. Now, could he have said it better? We can argue that one. But what I will say is people should have the right or should have the ability to speak their mind. We get so caught up in our feelings, you know, like we just get so caught up in them. Because only what I feel makes sense. Only what I feel matters. We won't even have the dialogue. One of my friends I lost, I vehemently disagreed with him on an issue. We still hung out together, still had a great time, as long as we didn't talk about that issue. And even then, we didn't like fight and argue about it. We just disagreed about it. And that's where it used to be. Now we're in this thing caught in our feelings. I watched the new Matrix, the one that everybody's bashing right now. And in that movie, they made fun. They brought up the same things that people are criticizing. The same people that are criticizing this new Matrix movie is exactly what they were making fun of in the movie. They were making fun of it. They fell right for the okie doke, right for the trap. I think it's brilliant. I think it's exactly what we're going through right now. Everybody is caught up in their own little bubbles. They need likes. They need to have somebody validate them instead of learning to validate your goddamn self. Excuse my French. Validate you by what you are trying to achieve and accomplish in life. Do not do it based on what someone else thinks of you. That is dangerous. Let's see what y'all saying in the chat. Wanda says, thank you so much. No problem. I'm always shout y'all out. You always come and support me. I appreciate that. And everybody that supports me. The other thing that I forgot to say is, if you guys are new to the channel, make sure you go check out Cage versus Cage. They funny brothers. They make it very funny, very interesting. They go ahead, they playing video games. I love some of the old school games they play. I love some of the new school. There's always some funny. I love the clips that these guys have. They bring that kind of stuff out. And if you're a movie buff, you're definitely going to laugh and have fun at it. So, well, they tried to cancel. Okay, my lamp just came on by itself. I'm not going to go do anything about it because obviously there's a ghost in the room. Whatever I was saying is, I don't know. Obviously, there was some truth in what I had to say, okay? They tried to cancel, but they ain't going to happen today. No, because people are getting sick of this. You can't say what's on your mind anymore. He was talking about a deeper point, and everybody just missed that. I think he would have jumped off that point if some changes would have happened, but he saw what we talked about. When I talked about the year in review and all the deaths that happened, all the senseless murder and violence, he was talking about some of that stuff. Yet nobody hears that. People just need to man up and stop being so sensitive, you know? And I won't even just, you know, I know we say the word man up, and I totally, you know, I grew up using that, but I would just say people need to get out of their own feelings and start to empathize again. I talked about that earlier on the channel. There's a lack of empathy is the reason why you can't listen to what somebody else say without getting caught up in your feelings. Tonight's beverage is sponsored by Captain Morgan. Actually, it's not. I don't have a sponsorship from Captain Morgan or anything like that. So I just want y'all to know. Okay, and if you aren't old enough to drink, then don't do that stuff. Okay, I want to make sure I put that out there for the verse. Okay, so everybody know. And then Casey said, "We are adults and we need to act like it. Everyone has and deserves to express their own opinions, and that's just it. It's an opinion. I don't have to agree with your opinion, but I should be willing to at least hear it." And be able to get out of my feelings to be able to evaluate it. And if I disagree, I don't have to mess with you. And really and truly, we can still be friends even if I disagree with your opinion. I have good friends that I disagree with their opinions. And I'm sure there are people that are friends with me that disagree with mine. And that's fine. They haven't lived in my shoes to know why I'm making these choices. Nor have I lived in your shoes or their shoes to be able to know why you have come to that. But if you listen, I'm a spiritual person, but if you loved your neighbor as you loved yourself, that would give you the empathy to at least be able to look at their situation and see maybe why they're coming from there. There's a lot of things that I read off today that happened this year. And though I disagree with why people did certain things, I can empathize and understand why certain people do certain things. I do understand it. I do understand how you get to that point. I even understand at the Capitol riots why people thought that they had their rights infringed upon them. Do I agree? Hell no, I don't agree with that. But I will say I understand why they felt that way. Because here's the truth. The truth is something the man got his hands in your pocket. Okay? My pocket, your pocket. There's an anxiety. This has never happened before. The climate is acting weird. The economy is doing crazy stuff. People lost their jobs. People have to deal with wearing masks out. We're doing stuff that we've never done before. You don't think there's some type of anxiety? You don't think that people being locked away in their house and trying to avoid getting sick or watching people get sick? Or, hearing from their echo chambers that this thing ain't real, and this is real, or they're trying to control me and all these. Like you're getting flooded and bombarded with all this stuff instead of going out and being reasonable. Be reasonable. I just said all that really quickly on purpose so you can see that like that. This is the kind of way people's brains are operating right now. And it's scary. It's downright scary. And here's the funny part. I'm not saying that people around the world don't have these type of anxieties and fear, but we definitely have it a lot differently. Why is that? What are we being fed that's different than everybody else? Arsenio Hall used to have a show, and he said, this is one of those questions that make you go, And that's exactly it. Eleanor says, yeah, I think some people are so close-minded that they can't listen to others. I wish this wasn't true. Unfortunately, this is common to every every part of civilization, or every civilization has been there, where you have closed-minded people. And people, look, there's a quote. There's a quote. I want to make sure I get it right. The people are so thirsty for knowledge that they end up drinking the sand. But the next quote was, people don't drink the sand because they're thirsty for knowledge. It's that they don't know the difference. They don't know the difference. So what am I saying to you? You need to make sure you go out and you educate yourself on what's going on today. If you sit there and you're going to take secondhand knowledge on stuff, then you're going to get the okie doke, okay? What we call the okie doke, where people try to pass on things to you and just make you fall for it, okay? You're going to get the banana in the tailpipe treatment, okay? Don't be falling for the banana in the tailpipe. Somebody drop in the chat and tell me which movie that comes from. Flowers, Eggs, and Yeast. Hey, thank you all for being here. Make sure you go check out Flowers, Eggs, and Yeast. Excellent channel right here. You got the buzz with your cuz. You got the most delectable, delicious delights known to man on this channel. You will not regret it by going and watch this channel. I'm telling you right now. You're going to see all kind of pastries and eateries and all kind of things on here, succulent delights. Go check out their channel. Good friends of mine. Thank you. And today I decided to just go with a normal background, even though this light popped on and just messed it all up. It's like a ghost in this room or something. So whatever. Not going to even sit and sweat it. Neil says Dave Chappelle can't be canceled. He don't need the money. And that's the thing, Neil. That's the thing, you guys. People are controlled. So some of the people that you love and I love, they don't want to lose their money. They don't want to lose the status that they have. Make sure that you don't get so big that you lose who you are in the process. Oh, that'd be so tragic. I hope you don't. A lot of you guys are content creators. If you guys lost yourself because now you're expected to make a certain type of content, maybe something blows up, The best thing to do is when something blows up, you go back to the well. How do I reinvent it? How do I keep doing it? How do I make it go? I've been going away from everything that's been working for me. I'm going to talk about that here in a minute. But don't get so big where you forget that you let it change who you are. That is so important. We see it all the time in all these movies and stuff, and the Lifetime channel, them dramas and stuff. Okay, we see it all the time, and we see how it ends, and yet people still go down that path. They still get the old banana in the tailpipe. Okay. Flowers X, you said thank you. No, thank you. Okay, thank you for being here. Okay, thank you. Happy, merry holiday, Christmas, New Year Eve. I don't even know if that makes sense. We'll figure that out later. Okay. Yep, they had a great live stream earlier. I feel like the light gives a bit of charisma to the background. It looks cool, but I get that someone could think it was a ghost. The thing is, I already have the lights that are like already. I have my lights, right? I have one up there, I have one right here. So, and they're, I like to have the muted light. So, the old banana itself. Like, oh, real quick, let me get this ghost out of here. Boom. Sorry about that, you guys. Thank you for being here. I'm back. So I wanted the background to pop a little more. So that's why I wanted that other light off. I have enough lights on my face. Y'all don't need to be looking at that. I don't want to break the camera like I did last week. Okay. So let's see what y'all saying in the chat. Y'all lively there. I have some questions for you guys. So, also at the very top of the chat, if you go back to the top, if you copy that link, you can actually come on the show if you want to right now. I eventually want to get you guys to come on the show and have these conversations with you guys. So maybe not this week, maybe in 2022, but this show will be always open for you guys to come in and to participate in talking about this stuff. I love to have a conversation, not talking to myself, looking at the camera, looking at the mirror. I mean, look, I'm an okay, handsome guy, but I can only look at myself for so long, okay? What else? Wanda says it's the banana and tailpipe for me. That would be awesome. Yeah, no. That's we're gonna talk about the 2022 stuff, right? The 2022 stuff. This is a question. Like I actually, when I came up with my outline for the show, this show was actually designed for you guys. I thought about all the content creators and all the people that come in. That's why I always go to the chat, or at least I try to get to the chat and talk to you guys, because you guys make the show. You guys make this channel. I want to hear your opinion, and I want others to hear your opinion, because I think, again, this channel is all about self-improvement. It's all about finding your purpose. It's all about living your best life. And I think that the best way you do that is to share ideas. We just talked about people being closed-minded. Eleanor had a great statement talking about that, where she hated about people being closed-minded. And the best way that we get past that is having the conversations, whether we like what we got to say or not. And that's, let's just move on to this, okay? Because I have some questions for you guys. I want to see what you guys say in the chat, okay? So I wanted this to be interactive tonight, so I hope you guys will bear with me just for a little bit longer, and let's go ahead and talk about some of this stuff. But let me know, if you had to come up with 1 to 5 words, a quick statement, what is the biggest lesson do you think that you've learned in 2021? What is the biggest lesson that you learned in 2021? That's the first question. I will go ahead and answer that question and start this off. The first, if I had to summarize it really quickly, and this is something I've already had to learn, but this is a continual learning thing, but I would say patience. Patience. Because the truth is, if my plan had went according to the way it was supposed to be in 2021, this conversation may be happening and I'm in some other country. if everything had gone to plan, I would be in another country. I would have left in October of this year. That's not the way it worked out. The way it worked out is I'm stuck here again. And now as I look at where I'm at now, I see that had I left in October, maybe I'd have been ready. Maybe I wouldn't have. But I learned some stuff and I have a little bit more time to prepare. I had my car stolen or taken, right? And with that car being taken, I was sick for a moment, but then I remembered like I've lost things before, I can get them back. I mean, I had a lot of stuff happen in 2021. I find it very interesting. I like to take these lessons, and what I like to do is I like to say, okay, what did I learn from that? How can I apply that going forward? So what is one of the biggest lessons that you learned in 2021? Let me know down in the chat or in the live stream chat. I have another question for you guys. What kind of obstacles did you face in 2021? I just told you some of mine. What kind of obstacles did you face in 2021 that you were able to overcome that you still need to work on? Let me know down in the chat what y'all talking about. Another question I have for you all. How was your mental health overall, your mental health and spirits in 2021? I think I said this earlier, but 2021 came with its ups and downs. I got excited when I thought I was leaving. I was down when I realized I couldn't leave. I couldn't go on and do what my purpose or my path supposedly is. And then, you know, along with that, with my path being changed and my car was taken, or actually I lost my car first, right? So that happened in September. And then October, I wound up figuring out I wasn't going to be able to leave. So all this stuff happened in rapid succession. So here it was. Oh, actually, I'd already made the decision to stay. And then here it was, I lost my car. So it was a bunch of ups and downs. Did any of you guys lose anybody this year? Did anybody lose anyone this year? Just let me know down in the chat. How did that affect you if you have? Let's see what you guys are talking about. I'm gonna switch camera perspective real quick so I can go ahead and read this. Wow, there's a lot of stuff written. I love it. All right, Flowers AG said, it's not our timing, it's God's timing. We suffered a personal loss that we are still grieving. It did not shake our faith, but it did provide us hope for the future. Absolutely. I shared your pain there, though I can't. Well, no, I can share your pain. Trust me. When I got out of the military, right before I got out of the military, I had a huge loss. And I don't really talk about it on the channel much, but it was something that no parent should ever have to face. Okay. So I was there. I understand. And you know what helped me push on? What helped me push on was that person isn't here, and I am. So the best thing I can do to honor the memory of that person and all the other people that aren't here is to just live. Just live your life. For the folk that ain't here, they don't have that spark. Live your life. You have it. You have that spark of life. What are you going to do with it? And that's what we talked about earlier here, all the tragedy, all the stuff that went on in 2021. Do not take your life for granted. While you have it, live it. Live it to the fullest. Live your best life. And that's what I've learned from that situation. And to have hope. Thank you for that. I really appreciate you all sharing that. Eleanor says, the biggest lesson I learned in 2021 is would be that I am stronger than I think. I finished college in 4 years and transitioned to graduate school. Eleanor, you're much stronger than you think. I talk to you all the time and I tell you, do not focus on the negatives. Focus on the plan and keep pushing on. All you can do is your best. And if you're giving it your all, then failure isn't a bad thing. Failure makes us stronger. Failure makes us say, okay, I know what not to do. I know not to fall for the banana in the tailpipe. I don't know why that's a theme today with the banana in the tailpipe. Somebody tell me over there. Okay, okay. Nobody's answer over here why I keep going back to that. Okay. But that's a great lesson. Keep pushing on, keep doing what you're doing. Do not stop, do not quit. I think our mental health was good as it could be. We turned off electronics every evening at 6 p.m. to go for a walk together and just rest mentally. That helped. Wow. So that is a very interesting point that you bring. When the pandemic happened and we were allowed to kind of go outside from the quarantine, I went to the park all the time. I haven't been doing that. But I went to the park just to kind of walk around. And I felt, and maybe you all felt this as well, but I felt so like normal again, like one with nature. And it's made me realize maybe that's what we've gotten away from. You know, our generation used to go outside and actually play, right? We didn't stick inside and just get caught on loops, right? Like I think 2 weeks ago, I got stuck. I should have went to bed early. I wound up like binge watching TV, didn't get to bed till like 10 a.m. or something like that. Then my whole week was off, so I didn't get videos out on time. And it's the holiday season, whatever. So like it just throws us all off. And then needing the likes, or maybe I might watch a TikTok, or maybe I might watch a YouTube short, and you get caught in that little loop, and then 2-3 hours has passed. Cut it off. You guys are doing excellent. That is excellent. And actually, that might be worth a topic to bring up on sensational fitness and wellness, because it's not just about working out. It is about wellness. And I think that some of the things that you brought up is great points. So I'm going to steal that idea from you. Turn off electronics. Expect to see that video in the future. Okay? In 2022, of course. Thank you very much for that. I appreciate that. Thank you. Wanda says, the biggest lesson I learned from 2021 is not to take my hubby for granted. He went away to Africa, Nigeria for a month to see his mother. His presence was missed. I really know his worth. Damn, Wanda, that's deep. That's deep. I don't even, there's so many ways I can go with that statement you just said. You have a partner with you. You have a partner that you share in this life with. And by no means do I consider myself an expert to be able to talk about that at this moment in my life. But I will say that I can empathize and I appreciate it. And the reason why I say that is because I think that everybody is worried about, do I feel a certain way? See, I watch all these relationships break up, and it's because I'm not tingling like I did, whatever. You are in a partnership. You have to go ahead and come to the table and really evaluate that thing. Where are we going? Got to be on the same page. If you're not on the same page, there's no team that wins a championship without being on the same page throughout the season or coming together in one moment in the championship. That's what you have. And that's what couples like Flowers, Eggs, and Yeast have, and what y'all have, Wanda, and others that we know. That I think you just have to be willing to grind it out. That where you see yourself later with that person is more important than more important than your feelings in the moment. Let me rephrase that. Your feelings in the moment are important, but you have to realize that feelings are temporary, right? If you're working on taking care of yourself and bettering yourself, you can get past those feelings. The biggest thing is remembering the goal and where you're trying to get to. That's why you hold each other up. You hold each other up. You're each other's support system. And that's a great thing. It's a beautiful thing. I think I appreciate that more now at this point in my life than I ever have. And I wish I could have understood that more. You know what I mean? I would have made different decisions. I don't have any regrets because I know where I'm at and where I'm going to be. But I would say I would make different choices. And I thank you for that, because it made me evaluate some things too, listening to that. Eleanor says, I faced obstacles academically and mentally. I ended up problem solving a lot to get what I needed to be successful. I mentally worked through some challenges, which helped me physically feel better. Yeah, you got to go ahead and you have to go ahead and put in the time to problem solve. You have to go ahead and you know, like you have to. I always tell people, remember the purpose, remember the goal. Because when times get tough, if you have a plan and you have a goal and you have a direction that you're going, you can get past anything. But it's when you don't know where you're going, you don't have no direction. You're a ship that has no sails and is getting controlled by the wind, or you have sails but you have no destination. Then the wind can take you anywhere. So you have to know where you're going, and then that way you could always get back on course. Does that make sense? How's it? Looking forward to that video. Love it, Sean. It's so important to turn off. Yes. Look, listen. I have a whole bunch of things in the works. I haven't started filming them yet, but the next string of videos on the fitness channel. If you guys are new to the channel, there's a secondary channel we have here, Sensational Fitness and Wellness, where we talk about fitness, mental health, and wellness, or health issues and wellness issues. And it's not just about can you lift so much in the gym. It's not just about losing weight. But I also want to be about talking about just doing things to just make us better. And in the channel in the future, I'm talking about some health issues, some health things that I noticed. And I think it's going to be some powerful stuff. It'll definitely make you think about what's going on here in the States and how we might be getting the banana in the tailpipe. Oh, man, I went back there again. Stop me, y'all. Stop me. But I got some good stuff coming up for that, okay? Wanda's so very sweet. I feel the same about my husband, Cam. Yeah, that's what I was saying. You guys are saying the same thing. Cage versus Cage. Facts. Thank you, brother. I'm trying to drop that. I want us to get better. I want this to be a conversation. Wanda showing love back. As long as he says, absolutely all about patience and giving not only yourself grace, but most importantly, your partner grace. Truly do not sweat the small stuff. No one is perfect, ourselves included. Look, I know this is the most cliche thing to say, but it goes along with that championship team mentality. And that championship team mentality is communication. If you can't express yourself to your partner or to the person that you're in this ship with, right? I can tell you partnership just from being in the military. If I can't express to my guys what needs to get done and the importance of why, then it don't get done on time. We don't get out to sea on time. Maybe it gets done imperfectly. And when things get done imperfectly, especially when doing nuclear engineering, lives could be lost, which is why it is very important to be in constant communication. And even when you mess up, when you're imperfect, just as it was just stated, you got to make sure you communicate that, because if you don't, then something can get messed up or people don't get the lesson and we can't move forward the way we need to. Again, lives are on the line with these type of things. When you're talking about a partnership, that's another life that's on the line. Got to stay in communication. That is a beautiful sentiment that you guys had it, and especially not sweating the small stuff. As you get older, I think, and you guys in the chat, make sure you tell me if you agree with me or not. But as you get a little bit older, you start to be like, this isn't as important as it used to be. You know, you're like, you know, at the end of the day, this don't matter the same way to me anymore, maybe as it did when I was younger. That's the way I feel. Tell me what you all guys think in the chat. All right. The other thing is, last year I had some sketches, still was doing dating and relationship topics. I was doing show and movie reviews. I transitioned into doing more positive content, started doing live streams, which I think has been very positive, I believe. And the last thing is I started doing YouTube shorts and stuff. And I look at my channel over the last year and when I first started, and I can honestly say that I was doing better in the beginning. And I was blown with the wind on just going in so many different directions. And I think that also related to my 2021. That's what it felt like. My channel, though there's a lot of things I'm proud of that I did on this channel in 2021, I feel like it reflected my life, that I was trying to do the right thing. I was trying to do positive things, and I think I got lost in the sauce. So in the future, I'm going to continue to bring positive stuff. I want to start doing more video reviews of things that relate to the sensational gent. So the type of topics that I talk about on here that are about bettering yourselves, bettering your lives. I want to make sure I start doing video reviews. I want to continue to do the positive stuff until this channel will eventually, because my lease is up in April. And when my lease is up, I'm going to see some people. You guys will see the videos. And then I'm going to travel to some country. And then that's when the channel changes at that point. I mean, it'll still be positive information, but it'll be you all living or seeing through my eyes, me living out the dream that I wrote down at 17 years old. So I'm kind of excited. I'm kind of nervous. And I thank for everybody that's here right now and that's listening or will see, because you'll be a part of that journey with me. And I feel like with you guys there, there's no limit to what I can accomplish. So I want to thank you. I'm very hopeful in the year to come. Let's see what you guys are saying in the chat. Eleanor says, yes, I've worked hard and it's really paid off. I got an interview for an internship that I really want. That's great, Eleanor. Congratulations. Hopefully that works out. Let us know what you think about that. Neil says, marriage isn't a sprint, it's a marathon. Yeah, it is definitely a marathon. Okay. It's not, if people want to make that last as long as it would ever, it's give and take. It's knowing the end point. Where do we want to see each other? We want to, but a lot of people aren't patient. I haven't been patient. Now I'm a lot more patient, like in terms of the things I'm trying to do. I have a direction and a goal. I'm not saying that I couldn't find that. I'm saying that I have things that I have to get done. And I'll let the chips fall where they may. I'm more open to it now, but it's a lot harder to find somebody that wants to not only share their life with you, but share it the exact same way that you see it. That's even tougher. And to not get swept away by their feelings. Like, I don't feel the same way. Like, I can't help the way you feel. We talk about love, but love should be unyielding, right? There's a scripture in the Bible, I believe is in 2 Timothy or something like that, where it talks about love. Love is patient, love is kind, love is all these things, right? And I see it from some of you guys in the chat through you guys' relationship, but I don't see it the same way as it used to be, like with whatever, which is why I changed this channel. I love talking about dating and relationship stuff, but then I also looked at the toxicity of it. I just didn't want to be a part of that. And what's funny is, had I stuck with that genre on this channel would be bigger right now. I see people, I would have made changes, I would have grown, I would have adapted. I talked about that stuff. I could have adapted with everybody else, and my channel could be bigger right now, talking about that stuff. But I see the toxicity talking about dating and relationships right now, and I just couldn't bring myself to do it. Though it is a part of life and it is a part of it. So you might start seeing some of that come back. You're going to see on this channel where I might get a little controversial. You may disagree with me, you may not. But I want you, my friends that are here in the chat right now, to know that I'm still the same Sean, but I'm going to do some things. I'm going to say some things, not being genuine to who I am, because I will always be that. But I think that, you gotta come with that. You gotta come with that fire, baby. Okay? You got to come with that fire. All right? And I'm coming with that fire and my captain. Okay? Buzz with your cuz. Shout out to Cam. So next year, I want to go to some things that worked. I want to go and do things that I haven't done. I'm going to go back to some things that worked before, and just do it in my own way. And I want to really put out the travel stuff. I really want you guys to like you guys to see and be a part of what I'm going to do with this channel, where I'm going to be at, just me trying to go through it. I've been studying my Spanish now for 302 days, or today will be 302 days or 303 days. I can't remember the number. I've been working on that. See, it wasn't just enough just to go to another country, but it's also enough that like I want to be prepared. That's all I know is how to try to prepare the best way I can. To prepare and to live in spontaneity. And you guys are doing such wonderful things. I've watched all your channels grow and bloom and blossom. And I just feel stagnated this year. But it's also because there's a lot that's happened. Emotionally, I've been up and down. And that's the way my channel has been. What is going on in your life right now? Like, have you felt, we talked about mental health in 2021. In 2022, and this is my last question, in 2022, if you guys could sum it up for me real quick or do just what you've been doing in the chat, with 2022, what is it that you want to see for yourself, for your goals, your channel? Give me any one of those. This is where I want to end the thing. I want to hear from you guys. Let's end it on a positive note. What do you want to see from yourself in 2022? I've told you what I want to see from myself, from this channel, what my expectations are. I want to know what your expectations are of yourself. And how do you plan to hold yourself even more accountable in 2022 than you did in 2021? Let me know down in the chat there. I'm going to get back to the chat and see what you guys are talking about real quick. So I was like you said, agreed. Keep going, Sean. Never give up on your dreams. Every day. I can't. I cannot. If I didn't go after my dreams and my goals as hard as I do, I wouldn't be able to stand up to this. I wouldn't be able to stand up to some of the mental wows that I've gone through over the past 4 years, 3 years. There's no way. I would have cracked up, right? I would have nutted up, as they say. There's no way. But it's the goal and it's the purpose that continues to drive me forward. It really is. Neil says true flowers, eggs, and yeast. Love that. He's listening to Buzz with your cuz. That's right, my man. Yo, Captain and Coke tonight, baby. Make sure you guys check out that segment too. They do great stuff with that one. Oh, hey, let me go back to here. Neil is the one who inspired me to do live streams. I said this earlier, but for you guys who are just in his chat, it was Neil who inspired me to actually start doing live streams. So you have him to thank for my craziness and for me being here, okay? Okay. And so Neil is working on improving his live streams and stuff like that. And I can't wait till he gets it the way he wants to. That's a great example of stepping it up to the next level. I hope to step it up to the next level on my videos for you guys. And I hope that it's, you know, Teresa, I think it was you that said about loving the positive content, or you or Cam, I don't know which one, but it doesn't matter. The point is it came from you all collectively, and about the last video I did. And it's funny because those videos being positive and putting out those messages don't necessarily translate or resonate with everyone. Though everyone wants to hear it, there's a lot of people that are stuck into their negative cycle. So they hear the positive, but what attracts them more? It's the negative. And that's why I said I could have blew this channel up already. I'm looking at all these other content creators that started around the same time, and then they're feeding off other people's content, and that's blowing their channel up. And here's I still feel like I'm stuck in first gear or a reverse. So Neil is taking his channel to the next level, adding, doing things. I'm doing the same thing. I know we all are. I know we have big expectations for our channel and what we expect to do. And I can't wait to see what everybody else is doing with that. Okay. Run a full marathon. I did it in 2019. It was painful. I want to train and feel strong. Oh yeah. Okay. I think I remember you guys talking about running a marathon. I didn't run my first marathon until sometime after my car accident. And it was just it was a 5K. But I actually ran like a little thing taped to me and I ran it. You know, it actually felt good. I forgot about that. But not only did I run a marathon, what I started doing is I lived in Hawaii and I had been on that island for, I believe, 3 years at that point. And I had never really done much. I hadn't really done, I had done some things. I'd been to the beach, obviously. But I'm talking about, like, if you go look, I started my Instagram at SouthsideBoy2745. That's my personal one. Yeah, I put it out there for the world. Also, make sure you check out my other Instagram at TheSimsationalGent. That's the one for the channel. 2022, I plan to get better at posting at that one so you guys are updated on what's going on with me, especially with me being out of the country. I want you guys to be abreast of what's going on with me and the channel. Anyway, I digress. But I started actually hiking, going to waterfall hikes, all this stuff. Like, you could see all that stuff on my channel, on my IG, where you can see the spark, the change, the wanting to get out and do things. And so I'm hoping 2022, especially getting out of the country, that gets me into more of that mindset. Do you know what I mean? Let's get back to it. Eleanor says, I want to graduate my graduate program in December and land a full-time job for after. Speak it into existence, Eleanor. It is happening. It is done. Go make it happen. You got this. We believe in you. I'm sure, great job, Eleanor. We'll be rooting for you. See, flowers, eggs, and yeast agree. So you know what? It means it's got to happen now, okay? And then we got flowers, eggs. He says, at the TheSimsationalGent, yes, it was me. I do love those positive videos. You're totally right. Negative sells more than positive, sadly. Neil will tell you this. Neil will tell y'all this. I was talking to him on his live stream after I did one of mine and some other stuff that had happened. I want to quit. That doesn't come out of my mouth very often, if at all. I want to give up. I'm like, what am I doing this for? You know? And then, you know, I have to tell myself that, man, I love doing this, though. I hate editing. Just let me be in front of the camera. That's the easy part. Like, I hate the editing. I hate trying to figure out thumbnails and titles. And I really just, the 10 hours, sometimes like, there's some of those videos I've done, it's been 10 hours of editing. It gets only a few views. You're like, Jesus, why do I do that? I might as well just put out just be behind the camera, put out some crap and just put it out there. I can say crap. It'll never be crap. But I'm saying, like, you do all those little extra edits and little this, that, and the third, and nobody appreciates it. And you're like, why do I do this? Why do I do this? In the last live stream, and Teresa, you might remember this, right? There was and you all that watched that video might know this. There's a Mike Tyson quote where he says, discipline is doing what you hate and doing it like you love it. That's YouTube sometimes. Sadly enough, that is my YouTube existence sometimes. Doing what you hate, but doing it like you love it. And I hate editing now. Sometimes I love editing. Sometimes you see something come to life in your editing process, you're like, yeah, I really hope they like that. And then sometimes, like, people like, oh, I like what you did there. Some people will catch it, and sometimes people don't. Because I try to put like hidden messages and all kind of stuff, especially in like my when I do sketch comedy. There's always usually some type of like hidden stuff in there. Like if I did a behind the scenes, it'd be all kind of hidden messages and stuff that you didn't notice. Let's get back to the chat. Talked way too much. Wanda says, for 2022, I want to do more collaborating with sponsors and other content creators to get my channel out there, as well as continue live streams and bring more cooking content. Oh, absolutely. I didn't even think about that one. I mean, not that I didn't think about it. That's actually something I didn't say. But I do want to do a lot more collaborations into 2022. Plus, when I'm out of the country, the other thing that I plan on doing is actually doing interviews with people, especially the people that's traveling, to get their perspective. Because what you can expect from my channel as a travel channel is 4 things. And one of them, I don't know if I'm going to have that as a focus. It just might be a function of me being out. But one of them is obviously my experience and the things that I'm going through. Because let's say you want to travel. don't you want to know, like, oh, I'm nervous about this. How do I figure this out? You want to know that somebody's going to tell you, hey, this is what I went through, and this is how you do this. So that's one. Two is to see the sights, right? So obviously everybody loves that. Hey, these are the sights that you see if you're in the city. These are the things that you get to do and stuff like that. The other thing is eating. Now, I'm not a big foodie, but I really won't have much of a choice because I'm gonna have to like get out of some of my eating. I don't like this or that, whatever, right? And I'm gonna do that to make sure that I'm like, hey, I'm giving myself a new experience. And the fourth thing, obviously, is for the younger crowd, they want to see nightlife. And I'm gonna always be that person that likes to go out. And it doesn't have to be nightlife, it could be like those day parties and stuff like that. But the point is, those are the four focuses I'm gonna have on the channel. I will, the fifth thing, if I can make it a fifth thing, and is what Teresa, what you talked about, so I want to continue to do positive content because the whole one of the purposes of me leaving, and I'm going to talk about that. That will be a video in 2022. The reason why I'm leaving. And I think that one will do well. They typically do. And I'm going to put it all out there. And it might trigger people, but I don't care. And I can say trigger people. It's not going to say nothing that crazy. But I'm just saying I'm going to give you my personal experiences, and it's part of the reason why I'm leaving. Okay? So those are some things to look forward to. More collaborations. Yeah, I get that. I have wanted to quit it quite a few times, but I enjoy it and I hope to return regularly at some point. I've already told you, Eleanor, concentrate on your school. That's the most important thing. It is more important than this YouTube thing. YouTube will be here. You can always reinvent, change, improve your channel, but you getting that education and bettering your future is a great thing. Continue on. Case. Yeah, I heard Mike with that quote. It's awesome and so true. Yeah. Yeah, it is. Neil says, thank you. No, thank you, brother. Love that Mike Tyson quote. So good. Important physical fitness at times for me. I may not want to run, but I know I'll feel good after about it after. We've got the Jet Sean. Love catching this. No, thank you all for being here. You're probably already gone right now. And thank you for being here. I appreciate it. Wow, this is going wild too. And then Eleanor says, yeah, I got to do collaboration in 2021. I really enjoyed it. So hopefully I can do a little as I come back. I want to do more collaborations as well. I will. That almost happened. So I can switch it to the second camera. Hey, y'all. Hey. Also, I'm going to sing some more. Yeah. Look, let me say this, that I love everything. I learned so much from you guys this evening. I really have. You guys have inspired me this evening. You guys have raised my spirits this evening. You guys have encouraged me not to quit this evening. And I look forward to talking more with you guys in the future. This will be the last live stream before the New Year's. So what I hope for you guys is that you all are safe. Be careful out there. That Omarion is dancing all around the place, dancing on people's chests and their throats. Okay? Omarion is dancing everywhere, right? And yeah, just keep doing what you guys are doing. Neil says, I so understand everything you said with editing. It's tough, especially when you don't have a lot of time, you know? And I have more time than most, and it's tough for me. I can't even imagine how some of you guys do it. You guys are the real heroes in my book because you guys find time to do the editing, the filming, and all these different things while still maintaining jobs and full-time and families and all kind of stuff. I have no excuse. I have a whole little studio here and stuff like that. Am I willing to show y'all the studio? Look, see, I got my desk and everything over there. Y'all can see what I see. Okay, right? I have no excuses. This thing is, this is all set up, and it's still difficult. It's still tough. So You guys have inspired me tonight to continue to go on, to continue to push, to continue to do what I've been doing. Matter of fact, to go ahead and up the level and bring you even better content and even go back to some of the things that worked on this channel. Listen, there are some things I look back on just now and looked at the year in review, and I was like, wow, that actually was working. Where could that be now if I'd stuck with it and didn't keep switching? So there's some things I'm going to do. Obviously, when I move, the changes are going to be the changes, and it is what it is. I hope you guys that are here, and also you all that are watching this as a pre-recorded video, rock with me through all these changes, because I promise you this, there's going to be some good stuff coming, and I hope that it inspires you as I am inspired to do it. So without further ado, I ain't gonna keep y'all up. You guys have stayed with me for a long time tonight. I thank you very much. Hope you guys enjoy your New Year's. I'm actually gonna go to my old bar and hang out with some old friends. Nothing special. I used to work for the first 2 New Year's that I was living here in Vegas. I worked, and it was just such a fun time. But I actually get to be on the other side of the bar and chill. And it's just, that's my people. That's my family. So, maybe I might party hop too if somebody invite me to another party. You got a party out there, please invite your boy, okay? Because I don't want to, just saying. Ooh, that captain's good. Okay. So anyway, I hope you guys have a good night. Thank you all for being here. And with that being said, live your best life.
Your purpose in life is to find your purpose and give your whole heart and soul to it.